We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sweet Scottsdale, Arizona.
Today, Jill and I talk about the 5 land investing tools that we can't live without.
Yes, this is going to be good. I have my list. Don't look.
Okay.
Don't peek.
Okay, good. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. And if you're a member, please join or participate in our strings on Discord. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
You're going to get immediate answers. I was telling someone about that the other day. I'm like, if you're struggling with anything and you're not taking advantage of the support that's there, you just got to throw a question and people will answer it.
Here's an example.
That's kind of like, I can't help you with that. If you don't do it, don't ask.
I'm having trouble getting my first mailer out. I can't just pull the trigger. Can somebody please kick me in the butt? And everybody will swoop in, me included. I answer tons of questions in real time there.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, Thomas wrote, I have sold many things online in the past and understand that there's no shortage of flaky people, right, that call on items listed for sale.
We talked about this yesterday.
I did not expect this with real estate, though. I'm trying to sell my first 2 properties and I'm getting a steady flow of interested buyers, but all of them disappear after telling me how interested they are to buy. I'm advertising on Craigslist and Zillow right now. The properties have good attributes, almost 5 acres each, and a price at half of what 2.5-acre properties are. Is the issue my lack of reach in marketing, or because they are desert properties where several others are being bought and sold?
This is, may I? Mm-hmm. This is classic. Yep. This is classic man mistake. I'm a man and I have made this mistake and sometimes make it to this day. You believe that the thing that you're selling is what matters. You believe that the mousetrap that you've built doesn't require any sales. And what really is happening here is you're doing the first 60% of everything correct, and you're not doing the back end 40%. And here's what I would bet you $1 that you are not having these conversations with these people and then saying, "Hey, what's your email address? I'll email you all the information right now." And included there is a link to for you to put $500 down on the property so we can start the closing process. And somebody would buy it. That's all you need to do. Yep. It's not the posting is bad or the real estate's bad, or it's the sales. It's the call to action closing part. Uh-huh.
We had someone on our staff who now is doing a different job, trying to help with this job for a while. And that's all they were doing. They thought they were just there to answer questions like customer service.
I'm like,
no,
you're there to sell it.
Exactly. They're like, you gotta do a little bit more than just answer the question. Go, oh, is that it? Okay, well, have a nice day. Click. Hello. What the heck? That's not what this is about. So yeah, that's right. That's where it is. Okay, good. Well, all right, take care. No. Yeah.
It's interesting. Most real estate agents are like this too. They just wait. Okay, thanks. No, you got to send. You need to
work. You got to work a little bit.
Jill can write the book on getting people to do what she wants them to do without them having any idea that they're actually being sold something. And when I say people, I mean me.
Right. Right. Well, there's a couple things I would say, Thomas, though. Number one, if you're swimming in the pool where there's hundreds of similar properties, that's going to be a problem.
It better be cheap.
Just going to say it. So a good thing you are cheap. So now you've got to make yours stand out somehow. Mm-hmm. And apparently you are, because they're calling and asking some questions. So then the only other thing is, just moving the property. Like whatever it was that drew you to it, and maybe it was only priced when you bought it, that's fine. You need to be saying, hey, look, by the way, I'm getting a lot of, just so you know, it's obviously still available or the posting would not be there, but I'm getting a lot of interest right now because this is priced so well. So if you are serious, here's what you need to do, kind of thing.
I sat in a Home Depot parking lot 2 days ago for 2 hours and with a Tough Shed representative who was sitting inside a Tough Shed that they had it all decked out. And so what I learned is this, because Jill's talking about making your properties stand out from the others. There are no zoning requirements for sheds almost ever. I mean, you can put a shed anywhere. And because it's a Tough Shed brand, You can build the whole thing out inside, do all kinds of stuff. It's still not a house, it's a shed. And so for a couple $1,000, you can make your property be completely different than every single other property that's online. And they even have a leasing program. They'll drop it off and pick it up and all that stuff. So once the property's sold, you can move it.
They can buy it, or that's not a bad idea. I hadn't thought about that.
But I'll tell you that, especially if there's not so much desert property, and you got to anchor it to something because somebody will take it. Right. This is a great idea. Jill and I are really exploring. That's kind of my job right now in real estate, is to make these properties look very, very different. Why? I'll tell you why. It allows me to pay more. If I can pay more on the acquisition side, I can buy a lot more property. The sell side prices
sell them higher.
That's right. Exactly.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
It's okay. Today's topic, 5 land investing tools that we can't live without. This is the meat of the show.
I just got excited. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jill. I know you're feverishly writing stuff.
Okay. Here are my 5. I'll do them in order. I'll go with the least. I'm going to do the Dave Letterman countdown. And number 5 is telephone apps to record and float phone calls around. Seriously,
that's on your top 5?
Seriously, I really sat and thought about this. That is very important to me because I've been taking these calls. I need to communicate with these sellers. It's the sellers that I'm doing with, not the buyers. The sellers, I need to. Sometimes I'm picked, because you know what my point is? I tell everybody, you got to pick up the phone. If you don't pick up the phone, you're missing a call. And sometimes I'm out and I can't write things down. Well, my calls are recorded, so I can go back. I can just mentally make a note, put it in my phone like 3:00 on Tuesday, and I'll go back and find the call on 3:00 on Tuesday because I know I asked the questions where I got the APN, I got the name, I got his phone number, I've got everything right there, so I can go back and write down the notes and do my research and my due diligence and get back with this person. So, and then I can also point calls in different directions. Like I can have.
I wouldn't think that would have been on your list.
I can put them to maybe the weekend calls go to me, which is often, and maybe during the week they go to somebody else, and on Tuesdays they go over here, whatever it is. That's important. So this is also kind of, I don't know, it doesn't matter, but that was my thing. Then my number 4 top tool is Neighbor Scoop. I always have it.
That's on my list too.
Open on my computer so I can look things up. I think we're working on an app. I can't wait. We need an app for Neighbor Scoop because I love Neighbor Scoop. I would do it on my phone. So what's Neighbor Scoop? I can immediately put state, county, APN when I'm talking to somebody on the phone and I'm looking at the whole thing. I'm looking at every property detail. I'm looking at it on the map. I'm looking at FEMA flood zone. I can see his phone number. I can look at all the property details, everything like that's from RealQuest Pro. I've got it all right there. What he paid for it. If that's in there, I can have that. I may have things about when the property was built. If it's a house, I have the size, I have the rooms, I have the square footage. I might have mortgage information, anything that's like that's recorded in there. I've got it. And it's like, what the heck?
And you can click on all the neighboring properties.
Yep.
And see what they paid for them. And it's pretty amazing.
Yep. And
that's on my list too.
Valuable due diligence at that moment.
Jill and I own Neighbor Scoop.
Mm-hmm. We created it.
And so here's a hint on my list. If there was no tool out there, I went and created it.
Yep.
Exactly. So my list is packed full of tools that I created actually.
Well, then number 3 would be like another one too, offers to owners.
That's mine on my list too.
Yeah, 020. Cheap mail who understands us. We got tired of trying to explain what we do to people and trying to upsell us and offer color or yellow letters or even talk about it. We know what we do. We know what works. So 020 is best.
So
and we just need the best price.
It's a bulk mail company that Jill and I own.
Yep.
That's right. It is the best price. And I do the mail merge for you.
Totally. Number 2 is the best data. I put best data, baby, which is RealQuest Pro, Data Tree, and Title Pro. Those, and we didn't have access to all that stuff years ago.
Right.
So it's amazing.
That's on my list too.
Mm-hmm. And my number 1 top, what was the thing? What was
Tools.
A tool? I hate to call you a tool, but.
You were my number 1 too.
I know you did.
You were my number 1.
So sweet.
I hate to call you a tool.
That's true. Yeah. You're my number 1 tool, baby.
Google Earth is the one that, I'll tell you, because none of these things, when I started, this is before Jill and I joined forces. When I started, none of this stuff was available. We literally had to find properties on an atlas. We had 50 atlases for all the states to try to find it. And we couldn't, or we would rely on whatever the county had, which back then was not much. There's no such thing as GIS. So, Google Earth itself really can shed some light very quickly on whether or not you want to buy a piece of property. Very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And data.
Okay, what are your whole five?
And
really
not necessarily in this order. Data. You could never, if we had to go, I used to have to go to the county website and download the tax roll or buy it, and they send it to you on a CD or back then even a DVD. And that just, it would take a month to do a mailer because the data's a mess. So data, obviously Jill, O2O, offers to owners, Neighbor Scoop, and then Google Earth. That was when Google Earth came out. Google Earth used to be called Keyhole, and Google purchased it. And under their umbrella of, I don't remember what the holding company is above Google.
Is it Alphabet or something?
Yeah, Alphabet. That's it. Interestingly,
how smart am I?
YouTube and Google itself are the only real revenue generators in that entire family of companies. They have tons and tons of companies. Google Earth is one of them. They don't make $1 off of Google Earth. It's just a huge black hole of expense.
Yeah.
It is. There's just a bunch of them like that.
Thank you for not calling me a black hole of expense. That could have gone a different way.
I was telling some of my friends yesterday, Jill just got back to Arizona. I was hanging out with my friends and I said, Jill's actually a profit center. Like most women, I'm going to get all kinds of hate for this. Most women are cost centers. Jill's a profit center.
Well, you know what's funny? That's actually true. Our next door neighbor at the beach was telling me how his wife, she runs about $25,000 on American Express a month.
How do you spend that?
I don't know.
What do you do?
I don't know.
Is it spa?
Maybe there's some things and there's travel in there.
They're an interesting couple because he won't let her park in the garage either.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
They have a two-car garage and he takes both spots for his sports car. How does he get away with that?
I don't know. She has to park outside. It's so funny.
There's a lot of love in that house.
It's hilarious. It's really good. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week. You can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called How and How Not to Review a Land Acquisition Deal. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. This category tomorrow falls under things I didn't know I had to explain. But our staff is very involved in writing these topics now. They have been for quite some time, for several months. And our numbers are better on the shows because we're actually answering questions and talking about things that people really want us to talk about.
Not just what Steve dreams up every day. Like, this is what I want to talk about. This is what you're going to listen to.
It's not, a PhD level discussion on data analysis.
Exactly.
It's actually like, hey, idiot,
thank you.
How do I should I buy this or not?
Exactly.
That's what the show should be called.
Hey, idiot.
And I'm calling myself an idiot.
I love it. Hey, if you need access to any sort of ownership or property details, including owner phone numbers and FEMA flood map overlays, like I explained in the show, you got to check out neighborscoop.com. I don't know how we got by without it. It's created by investors, that's us, for investors like you. We're Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.